What's going on, y'all? This is Lawrence D. Adams, or LDA After Dark. Today we are talking about telephone talk or telephone love, and I got my man JD here, and we are going to talk about it right now. So this is all a combination of something that took place. I was listening to a content creator on YouTube, one of my favorites. That's Glendon Cameron. Shout out to him. So I don't, everybody like, oh, are you copying off somebody? No. I'm giving homage, or not homage. What do you call it? We're giving honor to homage to the homage to where it came from. That's Glendon Cameron. But I want to talk about telephone love, and it's not telephone, telephone talk. So many years ago, when I was living in Atlanta, I actually had a radio show. It was Mr. L radio show. And so during that time, I noticed the book Zing was like popular. And a bunch of women were buying this book, and I couldn't figure out why. Why are they buying this book? So I said, there must be something to it. So I remember going to Cumberland Mall. Near Cumberland Mall, there's a couple bookstores around there, Barnes and Nobles, and I went there. And I said, let me go to that section. And I snuck around. I said, let me see what's in that book. So I began to thumb through the book. I said, I don't see nothing different. Just regular words. But that wasn't it. What it was is how the words were presented in the book, and the women that were crowded to buy it every week. And there was a crowd, there was women around there even then. So I said, let me find out. So I began to read the book. I read the book, and I started to see the language that was in the book was completely different from the language as, you guys would talk about, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I said, let me pay attention to the language and how it's formatted in the book. So I said, I did. Then I ended up buying another book, and I wish I had it here. I don't know what I did. It might have got lost in the translation, as far as with moving and everything. But I really studied the book on how it was and the language that was used to actually get into the women's mind. So what do you think about that, JD?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's not that difficult to think that the way to communicate with somebody is going to be a slight, I would say, task or a slight achievement outside of yourself. A lot of people have to realize first, you got to stop thinking about just you, and you got to think about how to, literally, without being a pun here, penetrate the mind of somebody else. And that's the thing. If you need to kind of get to that goal, you first got to stop thinking about yourself. You got to go and kind of move toward, what would the needs or the thought process of communicating with somebody else would be. So that's the first piece of the journey. Like, it's just think outside of the box, think outside of yourself, and what would you do to make things accommodable and to accept the presence of another thought.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. I began to look, and I said, man, why are these women just buying these books like crazy? I mean, they were flying off the books, off the book stand. I said, man, then they had, John will take you to the next level. Chad is going to ride you in the horse. And I'm like, what is, I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on. Then finally I said, let me be a student. So what I did was I said, let me learn the language and let me apply it. And so I found my first person to apply it to.
Uh-oh.
I said, let me see if this really, really works. So this young lady I was talking to, I can think of one. She was in Miami and I was in Atlanta at the time. And I think, I was about to say her real name, but just anyway, her name, Marissa. No, I don't want to say Marissa because that's my old assistant. So what I did was I got her on the phone and we were talking, and I never talked about sex. So what I did was I led the conversation to actually what she was doing. She said, well, you know what? I'm actually in the bathtub. I said, oh, that's interesting. You're in the bathtub. I said, what are you doing in the bathtub? She, well, of course, I'm washing up. So what I want you to do is, so I began to lead the conversation. I said, what I want you to do is, while you're washing up, I want you to take the soap. Oh, I got another story too. I got just thought about it. I want you to take the soap. I want you to lather yourself. So she began to lather herself and, really get into it. Then when I realized she was getting turned on by the instructions that I was giving her and the words that I was telling her, So first thing it was the instructions. So once I gave her instructions, do this. Now I want you to do that. Then I want you to do this. Then I want you to do that. It led to her finally finishing taking her bath, drying off, and actually going into the bedroom. And then what I did was I crafted a story. I don't know, at the top of my head, I just came up with a story of how I was going to start kissing her. And then I started with her neck. Then I went down her shoulder. Then I went down to her breast. And then I went down to her thighs. And by that time, you hear, oh, I'm like, what's hello? And I'm like, okay. What happened was, and she started getting more excited. So then I told her, I gave her instructions. I said, what I want you to do is, I want you to take your hand and then begin to play in the ocean. And so that's what she did. And I was like, astonished, like, wait a minute, it actually works. So she began to play in her ocean, and then she had an orgasm. I was like, oh wow. I said, I have to test this out again. And so it was, you look around the corner like, wait a minute.
I'm hearing, I have floors in my house.
Yeah. So I began to say, you know what? I don't want this to be just a one-time thing. I said, let me try it again. So what you think about about that little story? I just thought about another one about I got to tell you about the Crips and Bloods. It's crazy, but go ahead.
I mean, it's easy to break it down. I mean, what happened was it depends on the personality type, right? The personality type that you were connected with at that moment basically it gave you permission. Did you see that? It gave you permission for those instructions. And what happens is it didn't matter what you said at that point. It didn't matter. Now, what made it get to the point where she did play in the ocean is the fact that the instructions that you gave, once she gave you permission to say what you said, it was like playing a violin at that moment. It was like you knew what you were doing to get the result you were looking for, and she was following those instructions. And at that point, that's where you have the completion of what you were doing in terms of what she gave you permission for. And that's the thing. When a girl is not ready or not accepting of those instructions or permissions, none of that's going to work. None of it will work. But the key was she was ready at that moment.
Right.
Already, when you was talking to her, she was already touching herself. She was already giving herself, her own, warm up. And then it proceeded to the ladder, which is, getting that next level. Because, everybody knows how to take care of themselves. Everybody does. But when you add another person to the mix, it doesn't matter, if they have the full recipe, they still are going to be different to them than what they are doing to themselves. And it accepts a whole new, a whole new position to that recipe, and you're going to get a different result. And that's what they want. Sometimes people just want something different, and that's what they got. That's what they got when you told that story.
Right. That's exactly what happened. She definitely went in. So this is the other story. I just thought about another story. So I was on the dating apps, and I matched up with this young lady, and she happened to be, I was living in Atlanta once again. She happened to be living in she happened to be living in California. I said, man, this is crazy. So she living in California. So I went through my little protocols that I had. We exchanged numbers. First, that was the MSN where you can chatting and everything like that. And I moved it over to where we can actually, what do you call that?
The private chat.
Yeah, private chat. And then we finally just talked on the phone.
Oh, okay.
So what the first thing I had her do, once again, I gave her instructions, is I told her when she go take her shower that night, I want her to imagine, hear the words I'm saying. I want her to imagine, once again with the lather, when she's lathering, that I am touching her. She said, I ain't doing that, you know. So I said, come on now. I used to call it Crips and Bloods, whatever, Crips and Blood, you better do it. So she ended up doing it. So I said, what I want you to do, though, I want you to, in so many words, report back to me the next day. How was it? So the next day she texts me, how you doing? Good morning. Hey, ABCDOG. I said, so how was your shower last night? She said, it was amazing. I said, why? Because I imagine you were touching me and licking me and doing all the things. I said, okay, good. So we continued this on. I gave her more instructions. And finally, she was making a transition from California to Atlanta. So she made a transition. So she went to the airport. She took a cab from Hartsfield Airport all the way out to Cobb County. And that's about 45 minutes. Never met me in person. Came to my house. I remember it was raining that night. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is crazy. She came in. I had a towel and, you know, had things set up for her. Uh-oh.
Okay.
She had things set up for him. And then, you know, we talked, whatever. I wanted to make a call. I got some food, whatever, like that. So the next day, it went down. So we ended up, at first I wasn't there because I just came out of a whole bad marriage and things like that. So I was there, but I wasn't there. I was just going through the motions. Yeah. You know, whatever. She's like, you're not in it. So finally she did some more things and she got on top of me. Let me not, this is the LDA after dark. She got on top of me and then she rolled me and things like that. So I finally, she's like, well, my apartment should be ready. So she ended up moving she left, she caught a cab and moved to her apartment. So she tried to contact me a couple of days later, but I got busy with work and whatever the case may be. And I said, what's going on, Crips and Bloods? Oh, let me tell you, I am in the Bloods. I said, oh my freaking God.
What?
He was teasing me all that time. I'm actually in the Bloods. Pyru, oh, geez.
Hey.
Please, Lord. And you think you're gonna do that to me? I get my dudes to ride up on you. I said, oh, what have I done here? So, I mean, that was funny. That was a part of the story I didn't, that happened. But the thing of it is, from California to Atlanta, sight unseen, she's seen a picture of me or whatever the case may be. She immediately, from our telephone conversation, she immediately came to the door, and as I call it, broke bread. She gave me, as my dude would say, the box. The peace leave, whatever the case may be.
Well, I got, a few stories of my own. It's the only story I made this happen over a text message. I couldn't believe what I was doing too. Like I was like, I never, sexted anybody before, never did that before. But, this was with somebody I knew already. Somebody I knew for years, but didn't know them like that. And I didn't know I was getting almost played into doing it.
Right.
We was talking back and forth about, kind of past, good times, probably going out. I used to go to clubs with this person. I used to, hang out with that person and a bunch of friends. So it was very easy to, kind of relate to them, So going back and forth, talking about these good times, talked about some of the restaurants we was talking about ice cream, whatever. And I started feeling like, man, why are we going literally mentioning the high point of every one of our little stories we have? And all of a sudden, she kept saying, so she was like, so how do when's the next time you're gonna, are you dating right now? Are you seeing anybody? And I was like, no, not really. Just, it's like, well, that's good. She said, that means you're probably, just taking care of things by yourself, right? And I was like, yeah. And I feel like, I'm like, all right, listen, I know exactly where this is going. And she was like, I've never seen it before. So, what do you think? And I was like, listen, I mean, the sky's the limit, Now, mind you, this person lives all the way in Texas. I lived all the way, at the time, I lived in it was like New York. I was going back and forth between New York and New Jersey. And I had just gotten a new place in New Jersey, and I was still trying to move out of my place in New York. So she goes and she says, oh, well, she was like, well, tell me, what she was like, when you gotta pick up on the signals. When a person starts asking you way more questions than you're used to answering, something's going on. And what I started to do was I told her, I said, listen, it's sort of funny how you brought up the instructions, but I had, thought about the same thing. And the reason why I'm being a little winded about this, because this was not a one evening conversation. This conversation lasted 5 days. So what I did was, in the first day, I said, I kind of picked up on the fact that she was trying to get some more information out of me. And I was like, all right, well, this is what I want you to do. I want you to think about me. She's like, if you remember exactly what I think about, what I want you to do is go to the bathroom, and I want you to turn the faucet on.
I like that.
And she said, why do I turn the faucet on? I said, listen, just turn on the warm water and the cold water, and I want you to let it drip. I don't want you to turn it all the way on. I don't want to hear the water. I just want you to turn it on, and I want you to let the water drip. And what I want you to do is put your finger, your longest finger, under the water, and I want you to close your eyes. And she said, okay. She said, I said, go do that and then come back to the phone. She went and did it, came back to the phone. She said, okay, I did it. What was that for? I said, all right, cool. Well, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Stop talking to her. That was the first indication. The next day, she gets up. She goes, hey, what's going on? How's it going? I said, everything's going good. I said, did you do that more than once? She said, I only did it once. So I want you to go back to the bathroom and do it again. I said, before you go to the bathroom, for the first time today, I want you to go to the sink first. Just turn the faucet on. Same way. Turn the same way, and I want you to just feel the water as it comes out. No noise. And she goes, okay. All right, no problem. So then I said, when you go to work, I want you to do the same thing, and I want you to text me and tell me when you did it. And she's like, I'm going to do that at work. I said, yeah, take your phone to the bathroom, and I want you to take the phone to the bathroom. I want you to do the same thing in work. Nobody's going to care what the hell you're doing in the bathroom. Just do it. Hey, you sure? I'm going to do it. I said, yeah. I want you to do it. I want you to do it every time you go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom, what, a couple times a day, right? Just do it every time. It's fun. It's fun. Dude, by the third day, she was texting me. I was not responding anymore. I thought the joke was over. She was sending me messages every time. She was like, what? She's like, what are you doing? It's like, I said, I want you to think of a color now.
You go ahead.
I want you to think of the color red.
Oh my God.
And she goes, why do I think the color red? I said, because every time you turn on the water, I could tell you're not turning the cold water on. You turn on just the warm water. Why are you doing that? And she said, how'd you know that? I said, because I could tell. I said, now that you just turn on the warm water, I just want you to think of the color red every time. And she goes, all right, okay, I'm gonna do it. She goes, okay, you can see all the replies were one word reply. Okay, I'll be back. Bye. She's going back. All right, cool. I said, all right. This is the fourth day now. The fourth day, she's like, okay, you know what? This is getting very frustrating. She's like, is there any more instructions? Looking for more. And I said, all I tell you to do is put your hands under the water and think of the color red. What else do you want from me? she was like, there's gotta be more. There's gotta be more. I said, well, how about I got a surprise for you? I said, you're in Houston, right? I said, I booked me a ticket Saturday night at the Intercontinental. And she said, you're gonna be here? You're gonna be here? I said, yeah, I'm gonna be here for one night. I said, I planned a little getaway. I said, I just wanna, hang out. I wanna see what Houston's all about.
Yeah.
She said, okay. And, I don't even have to tell the rest of the story. You already know what happened. It was like, how about I got to the hotel and I was checking in and right in the lobby, I was like, right in the lobby, bro. Right in the lobby. And all I had was a book bag on. All I had was a book bag. All I brought was my laptop and a change of clothes. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And the following afternoon, I'm telling you, I had a great time. It was dinner that night. It was room service in the morning. It was hanging out, and I got a ride to the airport with some more surprises in the car.
See. So I want the people to get this. Most of the guys and the women, they know it, but they don't want us to tell it. So even the women will come back and listen to this. If you listen to the story, what he just said, there's so many things. You did something I do as far as with the color. He gave instructions, but, and this is something I really wanted to talk about on here, was many times women have sex, but their mind is not in the point of when they're having sex. So she's just going through the act. But what he did was he engaged her mind. So her mind and her body became one. They became one so that she can have a full experience. So a lot of women, I said this on the video before, a lot of women have not had a full experience of sex or getting, I'm just going to cuss, getting fucked, is because men are just giving them, they just having sex and that's it, but they haven't engaged her mind. So when her mind is engaged, it changes her whole experience. So it doesn't matter what look, it doesn't matter what status, it doesn't matter what you got $5,000 or you got $1. But if you can mentally stimulate her to the point where where her mind is gone, her body begins to open up to you. And it makes it easier. It takes it doesn't take long for her to come. Mm-hmm. Why? Because her mind is connected with her body. Many times women are just laying there. They seem like they're enjoying it, but they're not enjoying it. They're thinking about washing clothes. They're thinking about schoolwork. They're thinking about, I got to do this. But when you engage the woman's mind, so that's the thing when we're talking about the telephone talk, how we made these women do these things, it's because we engaged their minds. The biggest sex organ there is the woman's, well, your mind too, is the woman's mind. If you can get in here, everything will begin to change.
It's the brain. And that's the thing. Like, we have to realize is that people are creatures of stimulation. And the biggest mistake you can make is start with the physical. That's the biggest mistake. Mm-hmm. Now, when you with a woman, and I'm definitely, I can accept every walk of life. I really can. But the reason why I'm talking about women is because that's my sexuality. So I'm going to relate in that way. Mm-hmm. So the issue that a lot of people have is they don't know how to talk to their partner. And that's the thing. If you learn how to talk to your partner, and it starts, and every married person will tell you this, whether you married, divorced, and then married again, or you're about to get married, or you're in a serious relationship that's been for years, if you've been with a partner for a certain amount of time, you know that warming up the oven, as they say, or trying to, get things started does not start in the first 5 minutes of you thinking about it in the bedroom. It doesn't happen that way. A lot of that tension, you ever heard of that tension, the sexual tension that gets built up? That sexual tension is elasticity in your mind. That elasticity is basically pulling at you from it's like a rubber band. It actually takes hours to build it up in the mind, and then it's like a slingshot. As soon as you get to the physical part, you let it go. Oh, it can happen. Now, nobody's saying, hey, you don't want to come fast or you don't want to, have an orgasm quick. That's not the embarrassment. The embarrassment is her thinking about somebody else when she's with you. The embarrassment is her taking too long because she's thinking about doing laundry or doing her homework or doing something else besides you. That's the embarrassment. I would take it as a compliment that if I worked her up from Monday all the way to the end of the week, and all I had to do was do the one little, like almost like getting shocked with a taser and pop her off. You know why? Because first of all, we're all creatures of multi-orgasm. We all are. We're all creatures. A lot of people think you're not. You know what I'm saying? You got one shot and you're done. That's not true. It's not true. It's not true. And if you've done anything in the tantric, you would know that you could actually, hold it. A male can have multiple orgasms. So can a woman. And what happens is you start. That first one is getting it out of the way because the actual connection starts after you get the physical out of the way. When you get the physical out of the way and your mind starts to really meld, you get that what you call it, that
it's build up.
It's like the buildup is more like what you call it, like how like almost animalistic. That first one is animalistic. It's like you're coming from a animalistic state, and then you're good. And then after that, you start to think, okay, I have my time with this person right now. I could probably use it a little bit more efficient and a little bit more goal steering and get even better at this. Mm-hmm. If I just take my time now, because now the initial flurry, the initial excitement is out of the way. And now you can now take your time and go do the next step, which is basically, I would call that like the next plateau. Because you get that one out of the way, and you got the next time. You could just concentrate now. You can concentrate on body parts. You can concentrate on areas of interest. You can concentrate on a lot of other things. And it's, a lot of times when you meet somebody for the first time, when you haven't been with them for a long time, or you've just been revving things up for others, you got to get one. Like I said, the reason I'm trying to say get it out of the way is because that one's been building up for months. That one's been building up for weeks. That one's been building up for days. That one could have been building up from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. Like I said, anybody in a relationship, anybody with anybody length of time, they know they like that build up way more than, oh, honey's in the kitchen and I'm just going to jump her real quick. That's not kind of that. To me, it happens. Those are called quickies, and those are, necessary. I would say in some cases, maybe you've got a busy life or whatever, but what you really live for is 2:30 in the morning. What you really live for is 3:30 and 4:30 in the morning when everybody's asleep and nobody's going to bother you, and you can put your full attention toward that person.
Right. That's exactly where it is. And I think a lot of people will understand how powerful it is when you do that. And that women, do you understand? I did a video, I talked about this. Where's her mind? I need to bring that video onto this channel. But once you have her mind engaged in the act of having sex, dude, if you open up the woman's complete sexual nature, you can be like, I quit. I'm stopped. I don't want no more. Please. I'm done. You know why? Most men don't know how to open the door. We're giving you the details. We're giving you the steps. First, give her instructions. Then don't try to get it on Monday. Wait till Friday, but start on Monday. It starts on Monday with a text here, a message here, Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday. By the time you get to Friday, the tension is there that it has to be released. So you gave something about the color. So what I told Ernesto about this one.
Okay. Oh, I remember. Yeah, my mind on that. Ernesto.
Yeah, I talked to him.
We won't say his last name.
Yeah. So I told him about this. So I said, what I did was I told the girl to give me a color. I do the same color thing. And I did the same thing. I said, I want you.
I learned that in the Science of Mind book, actually.
Really?
And we just applied it. So you must have been reading some of the same books.
I don't know. I just did it. And so what I told her to get, I said, I want you to do is when you get up in the morning, every time you see it red, I want you to think of me. Oh, I want you to think of me touching your ocean or touching the click, plain and simple. She's like, that's nasty. I don't know about that. That's not gonna work. I said, I want you to do it. So she got up in the morning. First thing I get a message. I didn't realize there was a red shirt over there in the corner. I said, oh, okay, right, all right. So next message, she dropped. You know, I didn't realize I stopped at a red stop sign. I said, oh, really? Oh, you did? Okay, no problem. Keep going. So what did you think about? I thought about what you were talking about. So the next thing, she stopped at a red light. Everywhere her mind began to notice all the red around her, but she associated that red. We need this needs to be behind paywall. Anyway,
listen, I'm telling you, what maybe you should tell them what the color red means. Tell them what the color red means.
I don't remember what the color red means. I gotta go over this library because I know it's over there somewhere. But so what I took the red one, every time she thought about the color red, it's heat, it's stimulated, it's sexual. So she began to automatically, she said, I got wet. I said, really? So during the course of the day, by the time, so this went on, like you said, for about a week or so. So by the time she came together, you know, I had something red on or something red on me.
Oh, shoot.
Guess what happened? She jumped my bones. I did not have to work. See, most guys think they got to work for it. No, you got to know the power. I'm about to say the science of the mind, but the power of the mind, power of the mind to get her engaged. Most women's minds, especially in this day and age, they're multitaskers. They're thinking about everything, the baby, the kids, this and that. They're thinking about everything. But if you can focus their mind, they will have the most strongest orgasm they can ever have in life. Why?
I'm gonna tell you what it means.
Go ahead.
Because I think this is a very important point of the story. It's funny how these two had some similar pattern to it. And I'm gonna tell you why. I mean, in marketing, there's certain colors that make people do certain things. And actually, the color red is a no-no in marketing. You're not supposed to use it. You're not supposed to use it because it means caution. A lot of people associate the color red with the motion of stop. Okay, especially if you're an adult, you look at red as stop. You look at green as go, and you look at yellow as caution. So what happens is anything red, you're thinking I should have saw a yellow first or then a red. And I know everybody's gonna say, "Oh, that's bullshit. What the hell is he talking about?" But it's true. It's true. And I'm this is not a sexual connotation, but it comes from the science of mind. It's from the Silva mind control method. It's a real thing.
Silva, that's my yeah, I love that.
So that's why I thought that's where you got it from. But what happens is this particular method is not supposed to be used in marketing because it makes you stop. But in my head, and this is just I'm telling you my own feeling, my own theory. I'm not telling anybody anything to do. I'm telling you what I did. What I did was I took the same method and applied it. And I felt if I used the color red would mean stop and think. You see what I'm saying?
That's good.
Stop thinking about what you were thinking and then start thinking about what I want you to think. That's why I incorporated the color red. And it's very ironic that you thought of it too, but for a totally different reason, but you got the same result. And it's because of the association. Right. It's the association. Nobody said it wasn't supposed to work. What happens is you could have picked purple. You could have picked orange. You could have picked, it's the fact you gave the instructions. That's going back to the first story. You gave instructions and you got permission to give them, and they wanted you to give them the instructions. You could have told them to put on a Barney outfit. It would have got them horny. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing. So with the how did I make them do these things over the phone? And I remember, it's funny you said with the color red. I did that. I remember. I might as well go there. If she finds out, she's gonna find out. It got to the point where I was able to craft these stories like at the fly of the hat because I had studied the erotic books.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't use any dirty words or anything like that. I just craft a story. So I got him so good in it. I remember this one pastor's daughter, to be very clear. This one pastor's daughter would call me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm not doing nothing. I need that story." I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm laying in bed and I have my vibrator." I said, "Okay, interesting.
Straight up.
Tell me a story." So I began to craft a story of me coming down there, and I began to share with her what I would do to her. And next she's like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I said, "Now what I want you to do is in the middle of the story, I want you to take a picture of it and send it to me." Very important why I said that. This got to be behind a paywall. This is just too much information. I had her take a picture of it because every woman wants to feel that their special parts or their private parts are special and unique. And so when she did that, it was something that was risque that she shouldn't have do because it was taboo, but she did it anyway.
Yeah.
I played it in. So she did that. So when she did that, she said, "I am just so horny." So I began to finish the story and I gave her instructions. I said, "Now I want you to come right now." What? Come right now. When I count to 5, I need you to come. So I said, 1. You can feel it. You feel it coming down. 2, 3, 4. When I got to 5, I said, "Come." She said, "I just squirted across the room."
Hey, listen.
This went on for years. Now she better not come across the video because she know it's her. But it's the truth of the matter. But she would call, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Tell me a story." Now this went on not just with this particular. She was the pastor's daughter, and it was some other women that would just call, "Tell me a story." And so what I would do is I would just craft the story off the top of my head. I'll go into what's that called? The Delta, not Alpha. Is it Alpha?
No, it's
Come on. You know what state I would go into.
Yeah, you said it. You said Delta. It's Delta.
Yeah. So I go into Delta.
We're in Alpha right now, and you go into Delta.
So I would go into Delta. So I would relax myself. Then I would relax her. I would tell her what she needed to do to relax. Once she's fully relaxed, then I gave the instructions on what I wanted her to do. She came with no problem. It did not take all night. I at least was on the phone no more than just to get her to the point to relax. No more than 20 minutes. She's like, "Okay, thank you," and hung up.
And that's the thing. So a lot of people really realize it does. Like I said, I tried to say this before. It doesn't take long, but at the same time, you have to accept the fact that some people are out of focus. They don't have their mind right. I knew somebody, and this is where the water thing comes from. I'm gonna tell you exactly where that story came from. The water thing about touching the water came from a friend of mine. She had a hard time using the bathroom with strangers in the same bathroom. Okay, so what she used to do was she would go into the wheelchair bathroom because it more than likely had a sink in there with it, because a lot of wheelchair bathrooms have a sink inside the stall. So she would go inside that stall when she was in the bathroom with other people, and she would turn on the faucet
right
near the bathroom because it would make her pee.
That's yeah.
So in my mind, I use that. I was like, okay, to run your hand under the warm water, it actually makes your body, it programs your body.
Yeah, right.
She taught me this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say it was somebody I know in a very long time, still knows. So I'm not gonna say her name, but she
that's
if she ever sees this, she gonna be like, "What the you don't."
And we got 2 people watching. If you get in the chat room, let you know it's there, because this content is, of course, after dark, but it's not for everyone. And what we're saying, this is not mere book. This is experience talking.
Exactly.
This is almost 80 years worth of experience right here talking.
And I'm not ashamed either. I'm not ashamed about it. And if you believe that you want to learn something from this, then this is the purpose of this. Like, It's not to trick anybody. It's not to, give anybody the understanding that they can get over on somebody. No, it's the truth. It's the truth. There's techniques to everything. And some people have issues and you need to reserve them. They need to work them out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to I'm telling you, the reason why I can say this worked for me, and I say it works for everybody, worked for me, is because I use this particular method. Now, that same person, see, how many stories you told? Am I up to? You
story. I told my Crips and Blood story. I done told about the first one in Miami, and I told about the red shirt.
If it's my turn, this is your show. So you give me permission if I can tell another story. Because this story, this story.
Wait a minute. There's two people watching. You guys got to say something, man. You can't just be looking like, whoo. You got to. Y'all want to hear the story? Let us know. Just put a 1 in the chat room. That's all you got to do. You're watching already. You're already secret watching. Like, I don't believe he's talking about. There's 3 people watching now. And put in 1 in the chat when you want to hear this story. Because this right here, I was like, something like, who else? Like Cat Will. This right here,
this shit right here,
just right here. It's gonna take you right there.
LD, I'm telling you, this next story. I gotta tell you. Okay, all right. Let me stop BSing. All right, so the person is. I'm so glad these are connected because it makes the first one sound so much better now. Makes it okay. So intercontinental girl, right? Miss Intercontinental. All right. So, like I said, we don't live in the same state. So if we ever want to see each other, somebody got to fly somewhere. Damn, I got another story with it too. But so she goes and she tells me, "Oh, I'm about to do a convention out in Vegas." And I said, "I think I told you this story. I think you know this story." So she goes and she goes, "Oh, I'm gonna be, there during these days, whatever." I said, "Okay, all right." I said, "So you gonna be working? Why the hell are you telling me?" You know what I'm saying? So she said, "Because there's gonna be a day of some free time." Now, ironically, in the past, whenever I had some busy stuff to do and me and this person went somewhere, I never had time for her. So at this point, it was like the tables are turned. She's the busy one. I'm literally taking a backpack and I'm going somewhere. So I'm thinking Vegas. I said, okay, you know what? I'm going all out. I'm going to get me a room at the Venetian because I stayed there with a client conference one time. LDA is well familiar with these people, but I said I'm going on my own because if I go with these people, I ain't never gonna have no free time.
What's up from the 216? What's up, Joey? Hey, this 216 too. What's going on?
That's in the house. That's Ohio, right?
That's right.
Oh shoot. Okay. I'm
in the house. I put my 216. Let me say really St. Clair University. You know what it's about. Go ahead with the story though.
So she goes and she says, "I'm gonna be in Vegas." I said, "All right." I said, "Well, tell me what your free day is." What I'm gonna do, I said, "I'm gonna give you 12 hours of that free day, and whatever happens, happens. I'm gonna make it like a fantasy." So she was like, "All right, well, I don't know what day it's gonna be." She said, "Can you work with me?" And I said, "All right, well, I'm gonna tell you what day it's gonna be, and you're gonna have to take the time because I'm not playing all this stuff for nothing." I said, "All right, cool." So at the Venetian, they have a club there called Club Tao. I don't know if anybody knows about it.
Yep, just was
there. They also got a restaurant called the Tao Restaurant, and this was before Tao Beach. So the only 2 nice places in there was the 2 clubs. You had a club, it was like a night dance club, and you also had the sushi bar, and then you had the restaurant. So, and I was also staying at the hotel, which is the Venetian. The Palazzo was just being built.
Wow.
So the Palazzo was just built, and they had the biggest casino floor. I don't know if you've been to Palazzo. I think I saw some pictures.
Yeah.
They have a big casino floor, dude. When I tell you, fantasy of a lifetime. I come off the plane, bro. I called a car from the Venetian. This girl went to the desk, found my concierge, had them, instead of sending me a regular car, they were sending town cars back then. She convinced my lady, her name is Denise, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's like my desk person down there. You know who she is because we know of a certain person that has a lot of yeah. So I decided I'm gonna use her anyway. She sends this girl in a limo to the airport to pick me up. Now, me and this same girl got history in a limo. So this meant a lot more to me than just her showing up in a limo.
Right.
So at McLaren, pick me up in the commercial area, boom, back to the Venetian. We walk onto the casino floor because to get in, we had to go through the Palazzo. We go in, yo. She was like, "Oh, I've never gambled, only on the slots." I said, "Okay, cool." I said, "Well, I'm gonna teach you how to gamble today." I said, "We're gonna play some craps." We jump on the craps table, bro. $100. Pull out $100. Start gambling. Now, the reason why whoever's listening right now, they thinking, what? I kind of thinking this is after dark. This is after dark stories, but I'm telling you something. We're building something here. This is all tension getting built up. It went from nothing all the way to a flight to Vegas, all the way to meeting each other, smiling, everything in the car, whatever. This is all the build up. It's all the build up, all the pieces. Now we're in the casino. Another level of build up here. Another level of excitement. 100 goes down on the craps table. We win. It became $80. The guy says, "We're gonna take back your money." I said, "No, just keep it. Let it ride. Let it ride." We kept saying, "Let it ride." We was playing the pass line. Anybody knows craps? The pass line is the easiest way, safest way to go. And they let the person I was with, they let her shoot. I just kept winning on the pass line. I didn't even bet no numbers. Pass line. So it's like our connection was like so deep at that moment. But we already know what was going to happen later. So it was like, if we won, this would make things so much more exciting. Exciting. She starts rolling. 7 out on craps is out. Like you can't, the roll's over. You can't play no more. This girl kept rolling and rolling and rolling. I'm talking about $100 became $200, became $300, became $400. I had on the table, and listen, I said, I'm only betting $100. We're going to lose. I'm not going to take no matter. I'm not trying to make money with this. We got up to $2,000.
Oh my freaking God.
$2,000 on the table. She's staring at me. I'm staring at her, and I'm like, is it time to be out? So I said, I grabbed the $2,000 in chips. No bullshit. Watch this. And I threw another 100 down. And I said, listen, this is my sign. If it's time for us to go, if I bet that $100, it becomes $200, then we're going to stay. And we're going to keep betting. I pull back the $2,000, put the 1,000 on it. She rolls. It comes up 7.
Oh my freaking gosh. You lose everything.
So I had the $2,000. I pulled back the $2,000. The $100 was the only thing on the table left. You see?
Wow.
So it was time to go.
Wow.
I got the money. We were happy at that point. That's what you're supposed to do. If you don't know how to gamble, you should not gamble at all.
Right.
I knew $2,000 was a good amount of money. I was only going to lose 100 if I lost everything. So what? I took the $2,000. Boom. Now we walking around. We got a whole evening worth of money that we don't have to give a fuck about now. What do? We went straight upstairs. Dude, I tell you, this was the fucking craziest. Because I had every room in the Venetian is a suite. Every room. Chilled out. Let's just call it that for about a good hour and a half. We're sitting there, just enjoying each other. Then we said, okay, it's time for dinner. Went downstairs, did the sushi bar at Tao because they said the restaurant was full. We didn't know what. I was like, I've never been to sushi bar. I'm not really a fish person. She's not really a fish person. Let's go to sushi bar. They said you can go to the same stuff, but you're gonna be sitting at the bar. I said, okay, cool. So she at the bar. He bring over stuff like it's dim sum or some kind of tapas plates, just bringing little plates to it, because it's a small bar. They just gave it to us in courses as if it was like a served meal on a cruise or something like that.
Right.
So cool. So then knocked all that out. ended up going to the club. Snoop Dogg was the DJ. He's in the club. I never seen Snoop DJ before.
I'd take my glasses off.
He was DJing that night.
Oh my freaking God.
Actually, the reason why I was surprised is because usually Reverend Run is in that club and he's there with DJ Ruckus, but it was Snoop Dogg. He was DJing that night. And I don't know if he had somebody playing for him, but all I could see was him and a couple guys behind him. So I couldn't tell who was doing what, but he was doing all the MCing.
Right.
Then clubbed away, bought drinks. A couple of people was trying to hang out, trying to freeload. We ended up getting a booth, whatever. I'm talking about we was building. It's like you already done had the pie, and then we building more for another setup later on. Because I didn't even tell you about the club. The club, I don't know if anybody knows about Tao. There's a long ass line.
Yes.
For Tao. It goes out the club, down the escalator, out the other door. Because when you come into Tao, it's on the second floor. So you got to go down the escalator and out the door. The escalator was going, it was like a big S shape. It was like a couple hundred people online. Because I was staying at that hotel and my casino manager had got us into the hotel and sent that limo. Guess what else she did? Gotcha. We were walking in to the club. And she said, it's a good thing you ate at the sushi bar because you now could go in the back door of the club. We were already there. We had a nice club manager walk up to us after we paid for our meal. They said, would you like to continue your tab in the club? Like this, this was fucking first class, yo. We continue tapping into it. I said, yeah, no problem. So when we walked into the club, all our drinks was already getting racked up on the same bill, and it wasn't even a bill because we had a room at the hotel. All the shit was going on the room bill. That was a level of trust that was established that whole evening with them because you start in one place, you end in one place. We didn't have to go driving around, getting drunk, being on Las Vegas Boulevard, nothing like that. It was literally one place. And Tao, Venetian, Palazzo, they have everything. They have everything.
Yeah, they do.
They even have,
I want to go back out there. Now I'm ready to go back out there.
No, dude. How many times if we going, gotta go, you gotta do it big every time now. There's no excuse. We know exactly what to do. We know who to hang out with. And I'm telling you, the reason why that story sticks is because I know that we played those, we paid the price for that particular experience many other times not going well, that we built all the pieces and we made it right the last time. That's the reason why.
Wow.
I wouldn't even trust a situation like that with anybody else. If I didn't know them, I would never do that.
Yeah. Wow. So I know the night ended with fireworks.
Dude, when I tell you it was explosive on so many levels.
Woo, on so many levels.
Because when you understand, a lot of people pregame, there was pre-activity. So we were already primed when we went back downstairs to eat and go to the club. That when we got back upstairs, and there was a whole thing with the Zinfandel and the Chardonnay. We was doing wine at the dinner, and then it ended off with I'm a rum guy, and at the time I was doing vodka. I was doing martinis and dirty martinis with olives and everything. Those things get you so broken up if you have to travel. But if you're in the same place and all you got to do is make it upstairs to your room, my God, 3 or 4 of those, you are done. Right. I'm talking about, we woke up to, I think it was like 5, 6 in the morning, West Coast time. We saw the, the sun doesn't really, you can't see the sun, but you knew the sun was coming up.
Yeah.
But the windows that we had were floor to ceiling, and to have her sitting on my lap while we was just like laid back on the couch, and you see the floor to see the sun was we let the sun come up and just like hold each other. Yo, that's that's a price you can't pay.
No, you can't.
And if you paid for it, you paid too much.
Yeah, that's true. Dude, man, you made me want to go back to Vegas. I cheated myself last. I need to go back.
You talk about stories, bro. Vegas, like I said, I done had some of the worst times there, and I made up for it later not doing what I did the last time. I went to Vegas at least 5 times on a private jet and regretted it. But when I went back, of course I went first class again, because once you go private, you look at commercial, you're like, the hell is this?
Right. Who? What?
And you realize you like first class even better than private, because on a private plane, if you don't have a stewardess or a person serving you, it's not good.
Yeah, okay? Yeah.
A private flight is just a bumpy, small plane at that point if you don't have somebody serving you. So the best experience to me is first class. First class, they will treat you correctly. The drinks will keep flowing the whole time. They won't bother you about money, and you're gonna get all you got to eat, because you don't want to get drunk on the plane, especially on a 6-hour flight. You know, to me, first class going, East Coast to West Coast is the best experience.
Yeah, yeah. See, man, you got me excited. Now you got me thinking, because, man, in the story, something was said. I don't think I went over a lot of people's head. We at 56 right now, so we might have to continue this next week, because I just about to say something. So I think I may continue this next week. So you guys gonna have to tune in.
Up. Whoever's watching right now, you're like, what are you doing?
Right. It's Joey M. What's going on, bro? Joey M from the 216. I see you right there. He's around the corner somewhere. So I think I might continue. If you like what you just heard, I make sure you can text. I just about to go into it. It's sitting right here. It's so sitting right here. I can't bring it out yet. Man, I think I might have carried it, because we don't want to give too much. This right here needs to be behind the paywall. This is this almost better than regular LDA, the Lord D. Adams show.
Hey, you set the stage. You set the stage. All I'm doing is performing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, this is because, you know what? I think we know what it is. I think on here, this the other side, and you're able to be just completely free. I'm not saying I can't be free on the other one, but it's different.
Yeah, you have to listen. There's a yin and a yang. There's the left and the right. There's the creative. There's the productive. And what I think the assignment is for everybody to do is to tell somebody could benefit from something like this, so that we could do this together next time. It's not just going to be our stories. I think it's going to be everybody's story who participate.
Yeah. So I think we maybe, you know what?
Thank you, Joey M, for that dope story. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, most definitely. So I think we might stop it right. We're going next week. You know what? Gotta come back next week, because, man, you made me think of another story. And it has to deal with someone that's wow. How can I say it? She worked for somebody that was famous.
Mm-hmm.
Very famous. And matter of fact, she just reached out to me today. And so she worked for somebody that was really famous. And let me say, the famous person happened to be performing in my city. And I'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to tell my story about how I got choked out by a stripper driving 60 miles an hour. Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah. So definitely, this is LDF the Dark. Please go back and go. This is what I want you to do. Go back and listen to the other videos that are already on here, because everything is going to build up from what we were talking about before. There are so many lessons right here on being. First of all, we gave about instructions, being a man, being dominant, leading, giving her instructions. If you catch the thing we said, even about the red, there's so much in this video that I really need to pull it. This is better than regular Lawrence D. Adams show. This better than that right now. This is almost like topping it. And it's not like a lot of people in here. So, man, I'm gonna stop. But this person, she worked for somebody who was famous, and something happened on a snowy night. So yeah. So anything else closing, Mark? Because we're at the hour, right at the hour mark, and I want to keep it.
I can't wait till next week. Whenever you do it, it don't have to be a week from now.
Yeah, it's you.
That audience together. We can come back on in 2 hours.
Right. You know what? Actually, there's an audience that happens at yeah. I'm going to come back and watch the play. Yeah, go back and watch the playback.
Yeah.
There's so much. There's so much in this. You ain't gonna hear anywhere else. I listen to everybody. You ain't gonna hear you're not gonna hear, I hate to say the famous word, you're gonna hear this game or this techniques and things anywhere. You're going to hear what to do. But there's an audience, I was gonna say, JD, that hits around 1 o'clock 2, and that's that third shift.
Yep.
And they are like listening for because I did it one time. I did a show like late one night, and I began to go in.
Dude, I'm a night owl, and because I ain't DJing right now, trust me, this is the time I would be at the diner right now.
Oh wow!
Actually, no, it's 12 o'clock. I'll probably be finishing up my set, and I'll be trying to catch the diner before 2 o'clock in the morning. That's what I would be doing right now if I was still playing right now. But because of the what do you think I'm doing now?
Yeah,
upgrading my audio, upgrading my video, and talking to you, and you know what? It's new value, added value. I think I'm having fun.
Right. So wait a minute. So we could come back, catch that undercurrent.
Hey, let's do it.
All right. So let's give it. It's 12. I got 12. Wow, it's 12:11. So we got to out.
Oh, that's right. You in the same time zone as me.
Yeah. So it's 12:11. So I got to think of a way to do a part 2. We got to do another thumbnail.
Hey.
Part 2. So we can catch that undercurrent, see what happens. So we're gonna come back at around, we say about 1 o'clock. About 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, let me set it back up then. So 1 o'clock, part 2. All right. Peace. See you later. Let me end it now.